Hello MeTBs, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a get ready with me, but I'm only going to be using old favorites. So these are favorites that I used to love, wear all the time, and I just haven't in a while. There's been other products that have kind of come into my makeup view, and these ones have kind of like slid away. So I thought I'd bring them back out again. I'm going to see if I think that they're still good or not. So before we hop into today's video, be sure to subscribe because I do upload every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. And if you're enjoying the video while you're watching, you can give me a thumbs up. First, we're going to start off with an oldie but a goodie. This is the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer Water. Who remembers this? I used to use this all the time. I remember this just like giving my skin such a nice, refreshing feel, and it just hydrates a little bit. I think I got away from using it honestly because I'm very low and I didn't want to repurchase one, so I was like, I'll just use it sparingly, and then it just turned into I never use it anymore. Have you guys seen that Netflix movie that's called Eurovision? If you haven't, you should watch it. It's with Will Ferrell and Rachel McAdams, but that last song, oh my gosh, okay, if you don't know what it is, it's like a band from Iceland goes on a singing competition. I'm just obsessed with that last song in the movie. Ugh. It's just so good. Even though really isn't Rachel McAdams singing, it's fine. So it made my skin look very dewy, very glowy, and it does feel very nice and refreshing on the skin. I also used to love this Ulta Matte Prime. I kind of got away from this because it felt very silicone and dimethicone based. It's very slick feeling, and I just feel like if I used it multiple days in a row, it would kind of start clogging up my pores. I'm gonna go ahead and apply this because I remember liking this. All right, instantly mattified. Totally took all that shine away from what we just did with this. Now I feel like my skin is ready for foundation. Now this was a hard one because I used to love a lot of foundations, but it just goes back to this. That's not even really a thing anymore. This is the Fiona Stiles Matte Finish Foundation. I remember this being very yellow for my skin. Comes in a pump. This used to be sold at Ulta and it no longer is. I don't know if Fiona Stiles is even like a brand anymore, but I really, really love this foundation. I remember using it almost every single day. And again, I stopped using it because I was running out. This is a thick foundation. Look, I just squeezed that out. It's not running one bit. I'm gonna go ahead and take my makeup sponge. Oh yeah, real yellow. I think all of her foundations were very yellow, but I just remember really, really loving the finish of this on my skin. It held up and was matte when I needed it to be. Didn't fade throughout the day, and it was very lightweight on the skin. Didn't feel like a super heavy matte foundation. I just remember really loving this. This doesn't have as much coverage as I remember it having, which is fine. I don't really love full coverage foundations, but I thought it had more coverage than this. And it could have been just because I find myself wearing a little bit more full coverage nowadays. Not totally full coverage, but like high medium coverage is a good coverage for me. Oh, this is so pretty. It just looks really nice, very lightweight looking and feeling. It doesn't really feel like I have tons of foundation on, which I love. This brings me back to the good old days, remembering why I love this foundation. Now this is the wrong shade for me, and I apologize about that. It's a little gray looking, but this is the Tarte Shape Tape, and there's a reason why I never continued to use this because it's a little gray looking, even though the shade is light. Everyone knows why we love Shape Tape. We just did. We just loved it, and that's okay, because it's a very good concealer. It's just so expensive, and I found so many good drugstore alternatives to this. So I just don't need to, spend all this money on Shape Tape, even though, wow, that looks very nice. Shape Tape is a very full coverage concealer. It does the job. It's has a matte finish, covers, is not patchy. Yeah, it looks very, very nice, and I remember why I like it. Maybe it doesn't look so gray once it's on, but in the container, it looks very gray. Who remembers this? This is the Too Faced Peach Perfect powder. I used to love this until I just couldn't wear it anymore because it was making my whole face really, really dark. I don't know what is in here, if it's like the peach tint. I love the formula of this. I love the scent of this. I love the packaging. I like that it has this little top where it doesn't get the powder everywhere. It's kind of like is more travel proof this way, so you don't have tons of product coming out, but it does, like, if you'll see, it just totally deepens up. See, look, can you tell the difference between this side and this side? This side looks darker now. That's just what it does to your skin. I'm not sure why, but I stopped using it because I was like, I'm so dang fair. I could really only use this if I had a foundation that was a shade up from me that I couldn't wear because it was so fair and so light. I do love the formula. It's a very good powder. It just deepens your face. I do really love how soft and like how fine this powder is. Feels very soft on the skin, never looks cakey, does help keep me matte throughout the day. It's just now my face is too dark for the rest of my body, which is why we have this going on today. I'm gonna use that Shape Tape as an eyeshadow base. Even just as an eyeshadow base, the Shape Tape is amazing. Covers so well. I mean, it was at the highest of the concealer, you know, pyramid there for a while, which of course is understandable if you've used it. Now bronzer. This is the Makeup Forever Pro Bronze Fusion. This was pretty much my first bronzer that I had bought and that I bought into that I needed bronzer. You know, it's the shade 20M. These shades are always just like a little weird, but this is what it looks like. I just remember this bronzer being so nice for a first bronzer, you know? Not too pigmented at all. You definitely can build this up. You can have a very, very subtle bronzer situation going on, or you can build it up kind of like what I'm doing to get more color. I just really liked that you can, it's not like you can apply too much of this because it is more of a sheer formula. It's really good for beginners. Just trying to bring this down my neck a little bit to help match my face. See, I've been applying this for a while now and it's just really barely starting to show up. All right, yeah, very subtle. I think I'm more comfortable now with bronzer, so I don't feel like I need such a subtle formula. It just took a while to build up, which is never a bad thing, but I feel more comfortable, so I feel like I can go in with a more pigmented formula and just have things go a little bit quicker. This is the Too Faced Love Flush Baby Love Blush. This was one of the only blushes I used a very, very long time ago when I first started makeup. It's really pretty. It's not incredibly long lasting, but it is pretty, and it was kind of like my first high-end blush purchase. Now, I believe that they still have these Love Flush blushes. I just don't think they have this shade anymore. Okay, time for highlight. I still love this to this day. Regardless of your opinions on Jaclyn Hill and the Becca thing, this palette was what I used forever. It's just so good. I used all of the blushes in here. I used all of the highlights. This is called, I don't even know because it's like totally rubbed off the back, but this was the Champagne Collection Face Palette. This is a very well-loved palette. The formula of these highlights are just amazing. I love that they included Champagne Pop and Prosecco Pop. That's really what I love this palette for, is mixing the two. They're so pigmented that I'm never gonna go through these. So I remember loving these, and they were really my first big highlight discovery before I was really into highlights. And every time I use this palette, I remember how much I like this palette. Now we're gonna go on to eyebrows. So I remember really liking the NYX Micro Brow Pencil before I was super into brows. It took me a while to get into brows. Like, I was not doing my brows 5-6 years ago. This is the shade Brunette. Hopefully it's not too deep for me. I would definitely keep repurchasing this product. There's nothing wrong with this product. I think I just found, like, I was really into Anastasia's products for a while, and then I moved over to the drugstore e.l.f. kind of brow pencils, which I've just loved. I think I remember this is a little warm of a shade. I think I should have gone like soft brown, but this is what I had in my collection. Yeah, see, it's just a little warm that I normally go for now. The formula of this is really good though. I thought wearing a plaid shirt with shorts was gonna be okay and like not super hot for this video, but guess what? I'm warm and I'm starting to sweat a little bit. Back in the day, I used to always set my brows with the Benefit Gimme Brow. This is in the shade 1. I don't remember what that means. This packaging is super cute. I used to really, really like it. I don't remember what shade this is. What is 1? I'm glad I'm using this now because it feels like it's almost gonna dry up soon. This does a very good job at keeping your brows in place. It's not like a revolutionary brow gel. If you're looking for revolutionary, you gotta go with Anastasia Clear Brow Gel, but it does do a good job. So this is not supposed to just set down your brows, but also give them a little bit of volume. I used to just go in with this. I didn't even used to use a brow pencil way back in the day. I used to just set my brows with this gel. It's nice, it doesn't feel super sticky, but I think the formula is just, it's not like the best brow gel I've ever used. Okay, you guys, let's move on to eyes. Oh, why am I going with this first? I have to do the eyeshadow first. I'm gonna go in with the Naked 3. I used to super love this, use it all the time. Now I just have palettes that are a little bit more different. This just kind of a little bit blends into the background because I feel like the shades kind of all blend together. I'm gonna take a big fluffy brush and go in with the shade Limit. It's a very light matte pink right here. This was also a really good eyeshadow palette for before I got comfortable with eyeshadow. Again, back in the day, I only really did like mascara. I did not do eyeshadow. And I basically kept my eye look the same for many years. And I'm going to take the shade down, the next like kind of matte shade down called Nooner. It's this one right here. I'm gonna take that same brush. Yeah, and this is like pretty much what my everyday eye look used to look like when I first started my channel. I'm gonna take a pencil brush, go in with the shade Nooner. Just drag this underneath the lower lash line. This was also before I started discovering like other brands that were not just at Ulta, like ColourPop and more indie brands as well. Not just what's at Ulta, because I used to only strictly shop at Ulta, and now I barely do. Now these are the two eyeshadows, like single eyeshadows that I used to use all the time. Now I remember using single eyeshadows way more than I do now. That's just because I have palettes that have the shades that I'm looking for in them. It's not like I just have one palette and I need a few other top like lid topper shades. I have every palette that I would basically ever need, but these are the ones that I was thinking that I used the most. This is the ColourPop Super Shock Shadow in the shade Lala. It is a metallic muted pink, and then same, it's like the same exact color, but this is the L'Oreal Infallible eyeshadow in the shade Amber Rush. I might take Lala and then add Amber Rush on top of it because I remember Lala's getting a little dried out because I've had it for so long. See, it's just not packing the punch that it once did. Then I'm gonna take Amber Rush and just put this on top because it needs something. That's what I'm talking about. Love this shade, it's so good. It's still so good. If you guys see the shade lying around at the store, you should pick it up because it is just beautiful. Wow, this is totally taking me back to what I used to do for an eye look every day. See, started from the bottom and now we're here, you guys. For mascara, I didn't even bring a mascara. I'll be right back. I had to run and go get a new one, but you guys, it's this. It is the CoverGirl LashBlast Fusion. It's the purple one. I have been using this for so long that it continues to be my number one. This is basically the mascara I started out with, and it's the mascara I'll keep going back to. All right, now that my top mascara is on, I'm gonna go in with some eyeliner. This is the MAC eyeliner in the shade Costa Riche. Used to love this. I kind of got away from this once I discovered some other brown liners, but it's really good. I don't know, something about it, the tone of it just makes your green eyes pop. And you can see I've used this so much. I've really sharpened this a bunch and the lid's broken. It's a whole thing. Add that mascara to my bottom lashes as well. Cool, eyes are done. This was the only lip liner I had back in the day. This was the Slide On, Glide On, Stay On, and Dramatically a Turn On Waterproof Extreme Color Lip Liner. That's the name of this. This is in the shade Nude Suede Shoes. Now this is pretty matte, so I don't know if I would use this now, but it is a nice color. Just lightens your lips a little bit. And this used to be, oh my gosh, the only lipstick I had. This was the BUXOM Bold Gel Lipstick in the shade Sinful Cinnamon. It is a matte shade. Looks like this, so pretty. To this day, so pretty. And it's so weird because now I would just throw a lip gloss on top of this. That is insane. The shade itself is so pretty. It was like the most nude lipstick I could find, and the formula is super, super good. And I love how comfortable it is on the lips. It really was just like my beginner's best lipstick. And the packaging is super nice as well. All right, you guys, that is it for this video. I really like how my makeup looks right now. I would say the ones that just were kind of like a bummer for me, that I'm like, oh, I wish that this was better. The Peach Perfect powder I really, really love, but it's just, it changes the color of my foundation, which I wish that it didn't, because I'm already fair and I have a hard time like finding a foundation to match my neck anyway. This ColourPop shadow needs to go. It's like almost totally dried out. I am not a huge fan of the NYX brow pencil just because it's the wrong shade for me. I think if I got more of a cool tone shade, I would like it better. But yeah, everything else still highly recommend. Still looks really good. Yeah, I think this is gonna bring back some old favorites into my makeup routine. But if you enjoyed this video, let me know that down in the comments. And if you have any other videos that you'd like me to do in the future, especially like coming up for fall, let me know that. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up the video here. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.